Hey, it's Mark Ferguson with Investor More, and this is a property I bought a few years ago. It was a brewery when I bought it, and that brewery has closed. So I'm going to talk about what's going on there, what we're going to do with this property. I bought this property together with the one right over there that is a jiu-jitsu place right now and has an apartment in back a few years ago. I'll tell you what I bought them for, what everything's rented for right now. And something else interesting on this property is that there is a car wash right next door. Now, I'm not buying the car wash, but as many of you know, I just bought a laundromat that has a small car wash with it, and I was curious to see what that car wash looks like. And then it turns out we were doing some work on the property where the brewery was. You can see we put up some new fencing right there. Well, the car wash owners came over and talked to my contractors, and it turns out I know who they are. I used to actually work with them. So they said they'd be happy to come look at my car wash and give me ideas and suggestions. So it's crazy how things sometimes work out. But I was spying on their car wash. Hopefully they don't mind. It's the same price as mine, and it actually has less options than mine, which I didn't know if that was possible. And something else that was really interesting too, I don't have those floor mat things. I need to get those. Someone remind me of that later. But it has vacuums. Mine has one vacuum. They have two vacuums. But they don't have credit card readers. And that's something I've been thinking about. Do I need credit card readers? I know I want credit card readers when I wash my car. But this place is crazy busy every time I'm in the area. So people use it constantly. If they had credit card readers, would they get even more business? I don't know. But it just kind of let me know that I don't know if it's a necessity to have those credit card readers, but it did give me some more thought about if I need to or not. And that's what I've heard from other people too, as far as who've owned laundromats. Many of them never went to credit card readers just because of the cost. It's very expensive to convert machines. Machines are very expensive already. And most of those owners said it just wasn't worth it to convert to cards, so they left them as coin up. Now, here is the brewery, and as you can see, we are doing some work because we already have a new tenant lined up. So I bought this whole property for $450,000, both properties, a few years ago. And this one we kind of broke it down as I paid $170 for this one and $280 for the other one, I believe is how we did it. But this had a brewery in it when I bought it. I've never been in the building until the last month or so because I've looked in the windows and the brewery was never opened. But I was in there recently, so I saw it, and I'll show a full video of the building here coming up soon. The new tenant wanted me to wait until they finish their remodel they're working on right now. But it's going to be another brewery. So it's actually someone who worked at the old brewery is starting up their own brewery, and so they're working on getting that done. But they wanted a few things to be worked on before they did that, including extending this fence. It was just chain link before, which we did, building another small fence and a concrete slab back there. But here's what the back unit looked like. We'll show you that one while I talk a little bit more about this property. It is rented now. So with the brewery, I think I was getting $1,400 a month in rent when I bought it, which was fine. It made a tiny bit of money, but not much. But it's almost always better as a landlord to make repairs yourself and pay for them and increase the rent instead of let your tenants make repairs or let your tenant pay for those repairs and decrease the rent. And a lot of tenants want to do the work themselves. They want to have lower rent. But if I ever want to refinance the property or sell the property will be valued based on the cap rate or the rent coming in. So it's much more advantageous for me to pay for those repairs up front, have a higher rent than it is to have the tenant do it, because I do plan on refinancing properties, possibly selling them at some point, and I want to have higher rent coming in. So it took me a bit to realize that, but after being in the business a while, it's definitely better to have higher rent. Now, this unit back here, we rented for $1,250 a month, and I believe the jiu-jitsu tenant is paying, I think they were paying, was it $1,600, but it went up a little bit this last year. So overall, this side of the property that I paid $280 for brings in about $3,000 a month in rent, and it's got the basement still that we could remodel at some point, and I will show you that here too. It could really make this a home run and bring in even more rent. It could bring in probably $1,400 a month in rent, which would be well over $4,000 a month in rent just on this one side, not counting the brewery, which would make this, a $600,000-ish property in that price range. when I paid $280 for it. So that's why I love commercial real estate and value add deals like this. The brewery itself, I think our rent is around $1,700 a month now, $1,750. So that would make it in the range of a $280,000 property. So obviously that one has increased in value as well because we're able to increase the rent. So this property has been a neat property, not too much drama, and was fairly easy to rent too. You might remember a few years ago I had a real estate broker who rented this back unit, and he never paid rent past his deposit and first month's rent. Just made up stuff constantly. We thought we were going to have to evict him, but he did end up leaving before the eviction happened. And so that was an interesting situation on this property. But besides that, that was just a few months of craziness. It's been a fun property, a good property, and not as crazy as some of my other properties. So I know I have a lot of evictions and different stories going on and things happening, but we do have some properties that are very stable, have done fantastic, and were neat as well. All right. Love the comments. Love to hear what you think on these properties. Of course, we'll have more videos coming up on this one after the brewery is all remodeled and ready to open. I told them I'd do a video and help promote them and their new business. They are not open yet. And we'll have videos on my other properties, laundromat, car wash, liquor store, mini mart, all of that stuff as well.